And now it's time for Church Chat.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to this weekly edition of Church Chat at St. John the Evangelist in Port Hope. I'm sitting in for Jesse Parker, who's on vacation. I'm Laurie Robertson, and with me today is Deb Chapman, who is an active lay minister in our congregation and who in her work life is a chaplain at the Ajax Pickering Hospital. So we're going to talk today about community during COVID and chaplaincy and various ways that we can get together. So Deb, how are things going in your part of the world?
Right. Thanks, Laurie. It's been a very, very challenging time that's certainly ongoing, certainly has gone on longer than any of us really ever anticipated at the beginning. And how difficult it has been and heart-wrenching to be dealing with how sick people get with this virus and the number of deaths that we've been presented with. And so at the hospital, it's been so hard on the staff, not only from the perspective of people who are sick and dying, but also because families are not able to come in. So we end up being not just the healthcare providers and that sort of support for those who are sick, but we end up substituting as family as well. And that role has been very, very difficult. It has taken a toll on all of us. There is a fatigue that has happened, but as well, we're still sort of on high alert, wondering when and if that next wave is going to come, right? So we need to be prepared. But yeah, it's there's been tremendous grace in the midst of it all as well. How the teams have come together. We work fairly well together anyway, but this was just immediate, and how caring everyone has been. So it's been tough, but there's also been that personal worry about being sick ourselves, right? So it's we appreciate any of the prayers. Let me tell you, the people keep us in prayer. It's really we're not out of it yet. We're not out. So we have a good handle. We have a good handle on it. And if we do what we're supposed to do to keep that distance and to protect each other, we will survive. So that's a good part.
Yes. You mentioned the exhaustion and the difficulty on an ongoing basis of continuing to provide that level of care during such a trying time. And I'm wondering, what do you do to restore yourself when you're off work? Is there a part of the community that helps you to gain restoration and peace?
That's interesting because, of course, being off work, I don't go out, right? I'm not out there because I am at work. I have kept myself in really quite a bit more in my garden and that sort of thing, as time is much more, it's beautiful now, right? So I'm able to get it in the garden. And that's probably the most restorative piece for me. Knowing that people are praying, though, that is huge. But as well, my own downtime has a tendency to be around game shows on TV and comedies. So Whose Line Is It Anyway? Or any of those sorts of comedies that make me laugh. So laughter is the piece that restores me, I think, more than anything else, and just getting as much rest as I can. So I really try not to do very much on my days off at all. So, but yeah, those are kind of the ways I cope. But
I think you've mentioned some really universal things that people do to restore themselves, and that all of us can take note of at this time, because whether we're out in the work field, working with actual people who are sick or supporting those who are doing so, or whether we're simply sort of trapped at home, it's still taking a toll on so many of us. And if we can remember to find a way to find joy and laughter and take our minds off the troubles of the world and of our own homes possibly, not easy to do, but you've made some great points toward that. Something else I wanted to talk with you about that I think probably ties into this as well is community online in the sense of Bible and Brew that we do every second week, typically at St. John's. We did take a break on the recent civic holiday, so we're 3 weeks from the last meeting. And our next Bible and Brew is coming up this Monday evening. So Deb, I'd like to hear a little bit about that because you're so active in that. Tell us what goes on in the Bible and Brew and how that could be another way for people to gain an outlet and to be a little restored at this time.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yes, I mean, formally, of course, we met at the pub, which during COVID stopped. So we began an online community through Zoom and we typically get maybe 9-10 people, not quite as many as we would get at the pub. But there are some advantages to it. You can be in your comfies at home. You still get to share a brew of whatever it is you're going to do, but we tend not to eat together quite the same way, obviously, as what we did. But it is a chance of people staying connected. We're not able to meet at the church, but we are able to meet online, and any opportunity that gives us. So Bible and Brew allows us to come together as a small group, support each other, hear a little bit about what's going on in everybody's life. Also, we dig deeper. We often will pick, it might be the gospel for that particular week coming up, or one just passed. It may be with several leaders, and it may just be a thought that's come into someone's mind, and then we dig a little deeper into our faith together. We break out into smaller groups if it's a large group, which you can do in Zoom. We come back and share if we feel like we want to share. But it is really a support group, quite honestly, for all of us. So not only are we learning from each other and learning even about each other more, so we're deepening our relationships. We are absolutely learning about our Lord even more, and just that ongoing piece of how we are not alone. And I think that message is so huge right now. We are not alone, and our Lord is with us every step of the way, no matter what we're experiencing.
Absolutely, yes.
So join us. We would love you to come online. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, yes, that would be great. And for those who are interested, do check out our website. You'll see the web address at the end of this. We have links there to other community events as well. We have the Bible and Brew. We have morning prayer at 8 o'clock on Tuesdays and Fridays in the morning by Zoom. That's a group I lead. And there are 3 or 4 faithful people who join me, and we have the most delightful little community there. People get a chance to share briefly what's going on in their life before we start. And then we stick to 25 minutes or so of the Book of Common Prayer, morning prayer. There's also coffee hour on Sundays. We do that by Zoom at 11:30. Sunday school is at 10 o'clock. Right now we're just winding up Compassion Camp, which was a digital online version of Vacation Bible School. So that and other things are on our website. Please do click the link at the end and get more information. And if you want to receive a weekly email telling you what's going on in our community, there's a way to sign up there as well. There's a link to our church email. Send an email and we'll add you to our mailing list. It would be lovely to keep you more informed if you wish. Well, this has been delightful, Deb. I look forward to seeing you on Sunday at church, coffee hour digitally, and there are people in the church, many of us, who pray for first-line workers and people such as yourself in your work life, and pray for various members of the congregation that are working extra heavily during COVID. It's a different time. And I'd just like to remind everyone who's watching, please keep Father Jesse and his wife Leanne and their daughter Grace in prayer while they're on vacation, resting from this really, really unusual and difficult and hardworking time since we've locked down. Everything is different. It's all new. And Father Jesse has put a huge amount of time and effort in, and he's really needed this rest. So please remember him and all ministers of churches, all Christians everywhere, the people of the world, in prayer through your day. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you next time. Thank you, Debbie.
Okay, thanks.